Now, it's been a crazy 12 months for our first guest, starting at the end of last year when she mentored Little Mix, the first group to ever win the X Factor. Since then, she's returned to the X Factor judging panel, taken a break from N-Dubs to record a solo album, and has been voted FHM's sexiest woman in the world. What a year! Please welcome Tulisa. What a year! Which was the best bit?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
FHM.
So much
Little Mix.
Little Mix.
Yeah. They are fabulous. We've had them on here as well singing their new song, DNA.
Were they doing their Australian accents?
Yeah.
How did that feel? Because that was the first time a band has won, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was your act.
I know, it was crazy. It just kind of felt like it was meant to be. I knew it was my first year on the panel and I wanted to kind of, you know, prove that I had a right to be there. So to be able to do that was amazing. But they're just such lovely girls and they really did deserve it.
So how much work did you do with them then, Tulisa, during the run of the series?
Do you know, they were so brilliant when it came to knowing what they were doing, you know, giving the best performance, vocally, even harmonies, that it was more emotional mentoring with them and just kind of like being there for them as a big sister throughout the whole stitch.
You sort of became part of the act. You did that number together, didn't you, when you went on the sang with them?
Yeah.
Was that nice?
Yeah, it was. I was more nervous than them.
Well, this year's obviously been slightly different.
Yeah.
For you. Ella, Cora, I mean, wow. You must have felt pretty gutted for her.
I was. And the weird thing was that I just always get a feeling, and I had this feeling this year that it wasn't going to be the same scenario as Little Mix, and I knew that Ella deserved to be in the final, and it really bugged me that I had this overwhelming feeling that something funny is going to happen here. And
what do you think? What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, I think it just goes to show, because James was in the bottom two with her, that it was simply a case of, you know, people thinking she was safe and not voting. And as we've seen now, since James came out of the bottom two, now people are voting because, you know, they realise they do want him.
It does swing, doesn't it, from one show to another?
What did you say to her afterwards? It must be really hard to say something encouraging.
It was, do you know what, the funny thing was, the second I walked into the side dressing room with all her family, before I even got to speak to her, the first thing she said to me was, it was almost like she felt bad for me, she was like, don't worry, and she grabbed me and she hugged me and she was like, I know what I'm doing, this is a good thing, you know, I'm feeling positive, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my thing, and she's just ready for it.
So
she's ready
mature
for the
for
industry.
a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now, Ella's obviously not there anymore. Who do you think's going to win? And who
The final
I know
Saturday.
who you want to win. You've made no secret of it.
Yeah.
Just for those that don't know, who is that?
James Arthur, definitely. Yeah.
Who do you think will win?
Can I just say, Jane and I think it's Christopher Maloney, don't we?
We think it's going to be Christopher Maloney. You should
She knows.
I mean, I don't. I literally know as much as you guys. I don't know. Obviously, everyone has this feeling, you know, maybe Christopher will win. I think at this stage, anyone could.
Well, we're going on your feelings. If you got it right about Ella, then...
I want to ask you about Gary Barlow, because I've known Gary for years, and then I saw what he said about you, and it wasn't the Gary that I knew.
I know, it wasn't the Gary that I knew
either. Bag breath remark. Where did that come from?
Do you know what? The funny thing was he was touching a soft spot, because he knew all the time, like past times on the show, if I'd, you know, gone outside and come back in, I'd always go to him, smell me, Gary, do I smell of any cigs? And he would always go, no, you smell fine. So it's almost like he knew that was my soft spot.
Because he apologised.
Oh yeah, he apologised straight afterwards.
But what made him say it though? Nerves?
I think because at the time I was grilling his act, and he really couldn't come back with any comment. He couldn't think of anything to say. I think deep down he knew what I was saying, you know, was right, and all he could do was just primary school comments.
Now, I said when I was introducing you that you put N-Dubs to one side now, and you brought out your first solo album, and this is it. Tulisa, the female boss. Ladies. And you've got a single from this, which is called Sight of You. Yeah, shall we have a little look at it?
Yeah, go for it.
Here we go. See what he was doing there with the blonde one? I know, that's not on, that's not on.
female boss, what's that all about? You have to be in control.
Oh yeah, definitely. In some scenarios.
I agree with.
But do you know what? It started from the N-Dubs days. Dappy and Fazer, both younger than me, both really dominating males, and I'm the only female, not just in between Dappy and Fazer, but surrounded by 20 of their strong, dominating male
And you were
male
12
entourage.
or something when you started?
11.
11?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And even so, I was still always the boss. And whenever you'd ask the lads, who's the boss, they would all point at me, and it was like me, this little tiny, you know, the youngest one out of all of them.
Where do you think that comes from, that strength?
Don't know, I guess product of your own environment.
Yeah.
We were talking about failure and earlier. Is it a sign of weakness to admit you've had failures?
Definitely not for me. For me, it's the first step of becoming strong, is to just admitting your faults and mistakes. God, my whole career is based on admitting my mistakes.
But you admit them to other people. What do you think inside?
I think it's something that has to be done. It's almost like a form of counselling, I guess, saying it out loud. You know, this is my mistake. It's like sitting in a room of people, me knowing my mistakes, everyone else knowing my mistakes, but me not talking about them. It's like the big pink elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just get it out in the open and go, yep, I know, you know, here I am, and let's all laugh about it and move on.
Because you've got quite a tough exterior, haven't you? Everybody
Yeah.
thinks you're hard as nails, but I think there's a real soft side to you.
I'm so soppy on the inside. I am. I'm a big sop.
Do you cry at the snowman advert? Do you cry at the snowman advert?
I cry at a lot of things.
Do you?
What makes you cry? Do you like a big weepy girly film, or...?
Usually after, like, sometimes a girly film, but after a night out, usually have it like maybe once a week after a night out. I come home, put my iPod on, just have a good cry. Yeah. It makes me feel better.
Yes,
It's just
relief.
like, yeah.
That's such a girl thing, isn't it?
Colours music that makes you cry, is that what you
I'm not gonna lie, a couple of times I've listened to Rule the World crying my eyes out.
It's wonderful. And you said you go home. Have you got a new house? Is that right? We read about it somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a new house.
Wonderful.
Is it a big posh one? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is it? Good for you. Yeah, good for you. I mean, I love it when particularly women do well, and we should celebrate that success, because usually when women do well... So congratulations to you. We're all looking forward to the X Factor final on Saturday. Christopher.
No, don't wind her up.
But thank you so much for coming in and being loose and live with us. Tulisa, thank
Thanks for having
you.